The Fisherman's Curse. Part 3. Breaking the Curse. The island was shrouded in thick vegetation, its twisted trees and vines casting eerie shadows in the dim light. The trio moved cautiously, their weapons at the ready. As they approached the center of the island, they found a makeshift altar surrounded by glowing runes carved into the ground. Kneeling before the altar was a robed figure, chanting in a guttural language. The Fisherman's Son. Fiddlespark whispered, pointing to a young man lying unconscious near the altar. Arin studied the scene, her eyes narrowing. The runes are binding him. The chanting is keeping the spell active. Then let's stop the chanting, the fisherman, Thaldor said, stepping forward. The robed figure turned, revealing a gaunt face and eyes filled with malice. You should not have come here, he hissed. With a flick of his hand, the figure summoned shadowy creatures from the surrounding trees. The creatures charged, their glowing red eyes fixed on the intruders. Thaldor met them head-on, his hammer smashing through their ethereal forms. Fiddlespark cast a burst of light, dispersing the shadows, while Arin focused on the altar. These runes are powerful, she said. I need time to break the spell. Quote, then we'll buy you time. Thaldor shouted, holding off another wave of shadowy attackers. The robed figure raised his hands, summoning tendrils of dark energy that lashed out at the trio. Fiddlespark countered with a bolt of lightning, striking the figure and forcing him to stagger back. Hurry, Arin! He shouted. With a final chant, Arin disrupted the runes, and the altar crumbled into dust. The shadowy creatures vanished, and the robed figure let out a scream before collapsing. The Fisherman's Son stirred, his eyes fluttering open. What happened? He murmured. You're safe now, Arin said gently, helping him to his feet. The trio returned to Yarcube with the young man, who was reunited with his overjoyed father. You've done this town a great service, the fisherman said, his voice trembling with gratitude. We'll never forget it. As the trio rested that night, Arin reflected on the day's events. This town may seem quiet, but it has its share of secrets. Good thing we're here to handle them, Thaldor said with a grin. Let's just hope the river stays quiet for a while, Fiddlespark added. For now, the waters of Yarcube were calm again, but the trio knew that peace was rarely permanent.